Hey there, my name is Amanda, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. Wanted to make this video because I am meeting a deadline. 6 minutes until my deadline, and I just wanted to make sure I met it no matter what, considering the day that I had. I had to take care of a fraud alert that held over the weekend. Of course, the weekend it had to happen, right? On my bank account, so transactions were put to a halt, and issues with my car. And number 3, we went for a follow-up doctor's appointment, and my son's hand just has not looked really good since surgery. So anyway, been dealing with that, and I know it's in God's hands. And just again, I wanted to make this video. So here we are, and we are talking about these O2 drops. I'm so excited about them. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, 3:30, somewhere around there, and it's almost midnight, and I still feel like I can go. And it's, because of these drops. And when I get to bed, I'm going to sleep like a baby. But there's more to it, way more to it than that. Way more to these drops than that. Just, more energy, sleeping better. You're going to hear about that in my future videos, because this is not going to be my only video. Again, it's a 30-day challenge, so you're going to hear a lot more about it. You're going to hear testimonies. You're going to hear the business side of it. You're going to hear who we're partnered up with. You're going to hear about my leaders. We're partnered up with Meals of Hope, which I'm so excited. Meals of Hope are, where we're feeding, with every bottle that is sold, we're feeding a child. How great is that? Isn't that exciting? So how did I get introduced to these? Well, I actually saw them through the power of Facebook. So that's really exciting. One of our leaders in this company, Angela Mathis, she's one of my friends, and I was looking through her post, and she was talking about these oxygen drops, and I'm like, what the heck are oxygen drops? I'm a nurse. Did I mention that? I'm a nurse. I'm a mother, and I have my own business. So I'm looking at these, I'm researching them, and I'm reading about all these testimonies that, testimony after testimony after testimony of how they're helping people from everywhere, any race, ethnic, age, sick, not sick, athlete, non-athlete. I mean, it's just helping people with any condition and everything else. And I'm like, there's no way. These are oxygen drops. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for over 20-something years, and, an ER nurse, critical care nurse, and I've never heard of oxygen drops. So I did some research, and I'm like, then I put the thought away for about 3 weeks. No, it was, I forget how long, maybe 3 to 5 weeks. Put the thought away, and I was going to come back to it, but I had actually kind of forgotten about them. And it wasn't until my dog Maggie, we woke up one day to her, and she was just lying around. She was not moving. She was just lying in one spot and just looking at us like, help me, please, with just no energy. And so we got her to the vet, and she was diagnosed with osteosarcoma. And they said, well, you can either amputate, or, we can do this $20,000 chemo. I think it was something like that. It was an outrageous amount of chemo. And we couldn't do that. And she was elderly, so we weren't going to put her through that. So not elderly, but, she's still very lively and rambunctious. But, when you weigh that out, it just wasn't worth it to us. So then I came back I'm like, you know what? I'm like, those oxygen drops, that I saw Angela promoting, I'm like, I'm going to order them. Let's see what they do with her. So I ordered them. I'm like, what can it hurt, right? So I started giving them to her. And oh my gosh, the energy she had. It was like that day she just got up, from lying around in one spot, literally. She was like getting up and moving around. And now we're at the point where we're taking her on walks. You know, I don't know what it's doing to the cancer, but I know what her, you know, quality of life is so much better from these drops. And so from there, I started taking them myself. First thing I noticed was the mobility in my neck, just helping with that. That was the first few days. More energy. You know that time, like that 2 to 3 o'clock time when you're at work? Well, I just put my O2 drops. You're supposed to let them sit for under your tongue for 2 minutes. That's how they work best. 15 drops 3 times a day under your tongue. And so I noticed my neck, my mobility in my neck's just so much better for my arthritis, because I have incredible amount of arthritis. My energy level, that 2 to 3 o'clock time, 3 to 4 o'clock time, just, you know, a lot of energy. And then about the 6th week, and I'm not embarrassed to say this, but it started helping me with my bladder issues at night, getting up and going to the bathroom, not having to do that. Not having to do that. That is cut down significantly. So I don't care, you know, I'm embarrassing myself, but you know what? If it can help someone, then it's going to help someone. Then I noticed 6 to 8 weeks out, that I noticed my hair. I've shown this before in a Facebook video, but my hair, look at that. It's so much thicker. I'm having a bad hair day, but look at this. I'm 52 years old and I have a full head of hair. It's thicker and it's just feels great. And so what else did I notice? Oh my gosh, I can go on and on. But let me tell you about my son. So my son, I noticed him with his athleticism, his recovery. He was, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to save this for another video. I can go on and on and on, but I'm just going to stop it there. I'm excited about these drops. We're partnered up with a company, with Meals of Hope, that's feeding children. It's a business, so we're helping people get started. Right now, we recently just started in Ghana and in Mexico, and we're helping those people with their health and financially, because remember, this is a business. I'm promoting this as a business now. Just so excited. This is changing people's lives. I had someone on Facebook that I introduced it to, Eleanor. I never met Eleanor. And oh my gosh, it's helping her so much. She said, you need to not keep quiet about these drops. You need to spread the word. You know, she thanks God. She says she thanks God for me sharing these drops. So anyway, you're going to hear more stories, more testimonies. I'm going to stop it right there. 8 minutes. Thank you for listening. Follow me. Follow my links. Find me on Facebook. Let's chit chat. Let's become friends. Try these drops. Let's see what these O2 drops can do for you. Let's see what they can do for you, for your friend. I'm excited to, you know, be sharing them with different people who, you know, just different people. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye. Again, I can go on and on. Thank you guys for listening. Catch me on my other videos. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.